It all started on a rainy Monday morning when the quietest girl in school walked into Jefferson High. Her name was Emily, and she had just moved from a small town after her parents divorced. Her clothes were simple, her shoes were worn, and she carried a backpack that looked way too heavy for her small frame. The classroom buzzed with whispers as she entered. Some kids giggled, others stared. No one knew that by the end of the month, something would happen that would change everyone's lives forever. Because sometimes the person you laugh at ends up teaching you what real strength and real kindness looks like. Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel Name, where we share real life stories that touch your heart and remind you that kindness can change everything. If you believe in standing up for what's right, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments what kindness means to you. Now, let's dive into today's story. When Emily sat down in the back of the class, she tried to make herself invisible. She didn't talk, didn't raise her hand, didn't make eye contact. The teacher, Mrs. Wilson, smiled warmly at her, but the students didn't. The class, Queen Bee, a girl named Brittany, gave her a once-over and whispered something to her friends, who immediately started snickering. At lunch, Emily sat alone. She opened a small sandwich wrapped in paper and quietly ate while watching everyone else in their loud groups. She didn't notice the three girls walking toward her until it was too late. Brittany stood in front of her table, crossed her arms and smirked. Well, the new girl. You don't talk much, ho? Emily looked up, startled. I just moved here. From where? The thrift store. One of Brittany's friends, Amber, mocked, pointing at Emily's old shoes. The girls laughed. Emily forced a smile, hoping it would end there. But it didn't. Brittany leaned closer and whispered, "You're sitting at our table, loser." Before Emily could even move, Brittany shoved her tray, spilling juice all over her clothes. The cafeteria erupted in laughter. Emily's face turned red as she grabbed her bag and ran out, tears burning her eyes. That was day one. The next few days weren't better. The whispers followed her everywhere. Notes were left in her locker, cruel jokes, name calling. Someone even kicked her chair during class and laughed when she flinched. But Emily didn't fight back. She didn't tell the teacher. She just kept showing up every single day. One afternoon, as the final bell rang, Brittany and her crew saw Emily walking down the hallway. They decided to take it one step further. Brittany kicked Emily's backpack from behind, sending her books flying. "Oops," she said mockingly. Emily bent down quietly to pick up her things. Amber laughed and gave her a light kick on the side. "Pick it up faster, new girl." That's when something happened no one expected. A tall boy from the football team, Jake, had seen the whole thing. He walked over, picked up one of Emily's books and handed it to her. "You okay?" he asked softly. Emily nodded, tears in her eyes. Then Jake turned to Brittany. "What's your problem? You think being mean makes you cool?" The hallway went silent. Brittany froze. Jake was popular, one of the most liked guys in school, and for him to call her out like that, it stung. "She's just weird," Brittany muttered. Jake shook his head. "No, you are. You're gonna regret this one day." That moment didn't stop the bullying completely, but it changed something in Emily. Someone had stood up for her. Someone had shown kindness, and that tiny spark gave her courage. Over the next week, Emily began to talk more. She started helping Mrs. Wilson after class, tidying up books or cleaning the board. She smiled more often, even if just a little, and she started drawing beautiful sketches that she sometimes left on the teacher's desk. Mrs. Wilson noticed. "Emily, these are incredible! You have real talent." Soon, word spread. The art teacher invited Emily to join the school art fair. She hesitated but eventually agreed. When the fair came, Emily presented a large painting called The Other Side of Kindness. It showed two worlds, a dark one where people hurt others, and a bright one where kindness healed those wounds. The entire gym went quiet as students admired it. Even Brittany and her friends stood there staring. The next morning, the story took another turn. The principal called everyone to an assembly. On the big screen, he showed photos from the art fair and praised the students' creativity. Then he added, "We also want to recognize one student for her courage and kindness, someone who turned pain into art." Emily walked up shyly to receive a small award. The whole school clapped. Jake cheered the loudest. But Brittany wasn't clapping. Her stomach churned with guilt. That night, she couldn't sleep. She remembered the juice she spilled, the name she called, the look on Emily's face when she kicked her backpack. For the first time, she saw herself for what she really was, a bully. The next day, Brittany found Emily in the hallway. She hesitated, then walked up slowly. "Hey, Emily." Emily turned around, surprised. I wanted to say I'm sorry," Brittany said, her voice trembling. "For everything." Emily blinked. "It's okay," she said softly. "I forgive you." Brittany's eyes widened. "You do?" Emily nodded. "Everyone makes mistakes. Just be kinder next time." Those words hit Brittany like a wave. Be kinder next time. Over the next few months, something remarkable happened. Brittany started changing. She joined the school's community outreach club, helped organize food drives, and even started defending other students who were picked on. People noticed. Teachers noticed. And one day, when a freshman got bullied in the hallway, Brittany was the first one to step in. "Hey, knock it off," she said, standing in front of the smaller student. The bullies backed off, muttering. Brittany turned and smiled. "You okay?" The freshman nodded, clutching his books. Emily, watching from a distance, smiled. The same girl who had once kicked her was now standing up for others. That's when she realized something powerful. Kindness doesn't just heal the person you give it to. It changes the person who receives it, too. A few years later, at their high school graduation, the principal gave a speech about transformation. "Some students leave this school with high grades," he said, "but others leave with something even greater, heart. And this year, I've watched 2 young women teach this entire school what forgiveness and kindness truly mean." He called Emily and Brittany to the stage. The crowd cheered. Tears streamed down Brittany's face as she hugged Emily. "You changed me," she whispered. Emily smiled. "No, kindness did." Years later, Emily became an art therapist, helping kids who had been bullied find healing through creativity. Brittany became a youth counselor, teaching teens about empathy and respect. Both of them would often meet up for coffee and laugh about the old days, not because it was funny, but because it reminded them how far they'd come. Sometimes life gives us people who hurt us, not to break us, but to awaken something beautiful inside us. And sometimes kindness doesn't just stop the pain, it rewrites the story. So, the next time you see someone struggling, remember Emily. Remember Brittany. Remember that your one act of kindness might just change someone's life, and maybe even save it. If this story touched your heart, please share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still exists. Hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Have you ever seen kindness change someone for the better? Thanks for watching on your channel name, where every story reminds us, even the smallest act of kindness can echo forever.